So now that we just ordered parts for the Transit, we're gonna take a break from it. So now we're working on a 13750. This is the codes we got going on here. We got the mass airflow sensor right here for bank 2. We're gonna go ahead and slap that in really quick and then see what's going on with all the rest of the codes. See if the issue goes away when we replace this. I'm not sure what this oxygen sensor upstream insulation mixed up. So I don't know if they're plugged in wrong on this. I'm gonna have to look at that. So we're gonna go ahead and do the mass airflow sensor, clear the codes, run it, and see if they come back. So if you don't know what side mass airflow sensor you're replacing, because there's bank 1, bank 2 on these engines, it's the V8, and it has 2 ECMs on it. You can just unplug one of the mass airflow sensors and it will tell you what, obviously, what bank is what. So that's what I just did. To see what mass airflow sensor is on what side of the engine. So as you can see, I unplugged the driver's side mass airflow sensor, and you can see here we got a code for signal electrical fault. So that means bank 2 is driver's side on this engine. So just remember that on these V8 BMWs. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap it out. I think it's the Torx bit is a T20 or a T25, not sure, but this is what you're gonna need to swap it out. And then one thing with the Beamer, always use OEM parts. It will screw up things. We've had that before where we've replaced with aftermarket and keep troubleshooting it, and it ended up being the part we just installed and we thought it was good. So just remember that on a BMW you have to have original parts or whatever the original part came from, which in this case BMW uses Bosch parts. And if you go to BMW and get that Bosch part, the one mass airflow sensor is over $400, and that's our cost. That's not what you guys pay. But you can get the same part number and everything right off the internet from Bosch for, I think, 150 bucks. So just remember that when you're working on a Beamer. Don't just go to Beamer and buy the parts. So I just replaced the mass airflow sensor and it's reading fine now. I'm looking back at the rough running value of the engine because it's still running rough. And the way to tell on these Beamers, it's like an old trick somebody taught me, is if you put your hand on the door and you feel a vibration on the door itself, the engine's not running right. And that's the case with this one. There's no misfires on the engine, but if you look at the rough running value on this one, you rev it up, let it come back down, and it starts missing. Even though it's saying it's not missing, it is missing. And usually if you got like I think it's rich codes, which we had rich codes on, before I cleared them. If you have a bunch of rich codes, I think it's rich or lean, I'm not sure. But if you have a bunch of codes for that and you've smoke tested the vehicle and there's no air leaks anywhere, it's going to be the injector seals. The injector seals on these are known for going around 100,000 miles or so, and we're at 136, and my guess is the person got rid of this car because he couldn't figure it out, because there's literally labels all over the engine from where they were pulling coil packs and spark plugs and trying to compare them. And like I said, these things, the injector seals will screw a lot of people because it's a pretty hard thing to troubleshoot, I would say, unless you're a Beamer tech and you deal with these engines all the time. Is literally for this engine, like our cost to replace injector seals from BMW, I think the seals are only like maybe 40 bucks. So it just takes a little while to obviously do them. They're pretty deep. But I guarantee you this one needs injector seals as well, especially after seeing this and doing the mass airflow sensor. And now there is no check engine light, but it's still running a little rough. So eventually the check engine light will come on and have a too rich code. Pretty sure it's too rich. And then it'll also throw like catalytic converter codes, which we had as well. Now the cam to crank correlation code for the exhaust side, that's a different code. Don't really know what's going on with that one quite yet. But we will figure that out. Just got the warning because the engine's getting hot. But let's see if I can catch it on camera here. No, I ain't be able to catch it on camera. Here, here's my vape right here. Look at the liquid in it. So it is running a little bit rough. That's about the easiest way I can show you how to show you like what it feels like. It's like a little stutter at idle. Is pretty much what it does when you got an issue with the injector seals. So I'm gonna go ahead and order all the injector seals for this car and see if we can't get this one done today. Hopefully.